And now we'll be beginning with the sixth chapter, and let's see how much we covered it. It was a small chapter only. Now all the chapters which are remaining are small only. They are not so big. Uh, we can, depending upon our discussion, it can even finish off in one session or maybe two also. Depends on how much we discuss. So you know we will begin the sixth chapter, but before we begin the sixth chapter, I want to say something about the fifth. The no, what is the link between the fifth and the sixth chapter? The link between the fifth and the sixth chapter is has been said that in the fifth chapter, no, Rupa Goswami actually states that you know the last one that he states that even if one gives up all of their desires, the feet of the Supreme Lord. But even if by chance he violates the injunctions of karmic karma, the Lord in his heart destroys all the suffering that might occur. So so said that it is very clear that uh, the the devotional service has lot of purity, because any amount of karmic reactions, not just our past karmic reactions, also the karmic reactions which we may get because of not following our varnashram, as been yesterday, day before yesterday, we were talking about so-called our varnashram duties properly, maybe, which is creates a hindrance, which is maybe a hindrance in devotional life. So we may get a karma of it. Even that karma actually is nothing. It's just a fig, you know, in front of the devotional service that you know that is performed by a devotee. So that's the purity of pure devotional service. As the sun has the purity, at any amount of student urine it can evaporate it and make it purified. So the and does not get impure in his own self. Same way, the devotional service is so potent. I'm saying Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Prema and level is different, is way high. And Vaidhi sadhana bhakti has that much power and purity that any amount of karmic reactions which may be born can be evaporated away, even if it is born. You So now said that in the fifth chapter, now Rupa Goswami starts saying about you know, he stated a qualification of Vaidhi qualified for who is qualified for Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Everybody is qualified. Some faith is required. Now, who acquires that faith, he can. So, but now here he's been talking about in this chapter how that Vaidhi sadhana bhakti has to be executed. Because we are meant mano, somebody may be qualified, but he has to execute now. So the execution part he explains in this chapter 6, which we are going to talk about. And Prabhupada, names this chapter is also how to discharge devotional service. A very simple, plain language. He states this chapter, state the name of the chapter. So we'll read first a few paragraphs which Prabhupada writes it uh, about Rupa Goswami, how he has compiled these instructions of discharging devotional service, and then we'll go further in our discussion. So over here, we are going to, I'll just share my screen and then you can read now. Yes, you can read. One of you can read, Prabhu.
Anil Prabhu. Abhishek Z Prabhu.
So, Silarupa Goswami states that his elder brother Sanatan Goswami has compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas for the guidance of the Vaishnava, and therein has mentioned many rules and regulations to be followed by the Vaishnava. Some of them are very important and prominent. Silarupa Goswami will now mention these very important items for our benefit. The purport of this statement is that Silarupa Goswami proposes to mention only basic principles, not details. For example, a basic principle is that one has to accept a spiritual master. Exactly how one follows the instruction of a spiritual master is considered a detail. For example, if one is following the instruction of a spiritual master and that instruction is different from the instruction of another spiritual master, this is called detailed information. But the basic principle of acceptance of a spiritual master is good everywhere, although the details may be different. Srila Goswami does not wish to enter into details here. We want to place before us only the principle.
Yeah, so now this first page which Prabhupada mentions is about he has quote Rupa Goswami has taken these descriptions of how to or how to discharge devotion service. He has taken from Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, and Hari Bhakti Vilas is quite a, a rigorous work done by Sanatana Goswami, and and a lot of rules and regulations are there. It's been said that I have surely I have not read Hari Bhakti Vilas, but I have heard surely about this that Hari Bhakti Vilas was written by Sanatana Goswami, keeping smart Brahmanas in the mind. That because smart Brahmanas, they very ritualistic people. So when they were seeing devotees not following so many seeing not many rituals, so they were to criticize. So to bring even smart Brahmanas into the fold of Krishna consciousness, keeping that in the mind, he has written Hari Bhakti Vilas. So there are a lot of things which has been mentioned over there, which we as a devotee may not follow. Some of them, and some of them we follow. So Rupa Goswami over here is now is going to list very important, prominent of these all those what is written in Hari Bhakti Vilas as prominent for discharging pure devotional service or for Vaidhi Sadhana Bhaktas. All these principles which we are going to read is actually is for the people who are on the doorway of pure devotional service. You know, and doorway to or they have entered the doorway to or entered the door to pure devotional service. It's for them, or those who want to enter. Sorry. So so uh, so then he says that no, there is a principle. There's a difference between principles and the detail. You know, so probably he is giving two examples over here that somebody like he's quoting about accepting a spiritual master, but he doesn't stress how to actually get tutored by him, how to accept the instructions, exactly follow the instructions in detail. So details will also come, but not now. Basically, it's more of a principle based, and in other chapters also, he just gives the evidences for all those principles which he is stating. So, but these two are amazing things, which examples have been quoted by Prabhupada, that to accept one's spiritual master is surely important, but how to follow the instruction is quite an important detail. And then he's quoting that one everybody should follow the spiritual master, but if the instruction is different from the instruction of another spiritual master, how to take it, how to understand that, and that too if it is within a sampradaya, within one sampradaya itself. From different sampradayas we can understand okay. Within a sampradaya, that too within ISKCON, how to take it. One spiritual master will be saying something, detail may vary. So how to take that? Because you may hear from different personalities, from different, great personalities in a ISKCON movement, and they may be they may be stating two different things, uh, all based on Prabhupada only. Two different things with two different details of practice of devotional service. How to take that? That's a detail. That's not been talked over here. Uh, he will move towards this that over here. I have only mentioned Rup Goswami has only mentioned about uh, the principles which are associated with it. So Rup Goswami has concluded on Vaidhi Bhakti principles in the first 5 chapters. Now from here to 6 to 12 onwards, he is now explaining, is discussing how one actually executes it. That too in a quite of a principle based. So, uh, so uh, the various ways of executing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is called as sadhana anga, the limbs or the parts of uh, sadhana. So, now he says very clearly that asritva antar antaraneka bhedam kevalam eva va ekam कर्म कर्म atra vividhe ekam bhakti angam uchyate. So he says very clearly where that many learned people says that sadhana bhakti may consist of performing many items or in performing only one item. So because we are going to read many items over here in the devotional service, how to execute devotional service. One may take it all of them, may take it some of them, or may take it, one of them, but rigorously. So, stating this, it's been said that sadhana bhakti, we know now Vida bhakti, right? Na? The 9 main limbs of sadhana is Shravanam, Kirtanam, and all those. They're not Nava, these are their Nava Lakshana bhakti. Our may focus on many or all of these 9 limbs, like has been said, uh, I know Sukhdev, Parikshit Maharaj, he just practiced one of the limbs, that is Shravanam. He perfected his life. They're different personalities. But Amrish Maharaj did all 9. You know. So it depends on a devotee. So, but we'll talk about how we have to take it. How we have to take these 64 limbs of devotion service later on in today's discussion. First, we'll read the 64 items which are mentioned over here. Hmm. So the first, before I begin, I want to say very clearly that among these 64, the first 10 are very important, and the first 10 are the do's, what we have to do. And the other 10 are the don'ts, which we have to, reject it, which we have to actually reject means those principles we should, those principles are there in the in the context of don'ts, do's and don'ts. First 10 do's, the next 10 don'ts, and then the rest of the 44 which remains is quite on based on this. But the last 5, but the 5 are very prominent, which is quoted twice by Rupa Goswami, and Prabhupada will also quote, and that we know as that is the most important. So even so said that the first 10 that we are going to talk, even that first 10, the first 3 are very important. Yeah. So what are those now? We'll just read. So I'll just share the screen. We have to read mostly, and we'll finish up. So one of you can read now. He mentions the basic principle.
Abhishek Prabhu.
Yeah, yes, Guruji. He mentions the basic principles as follows: accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master first. Yeah. Second, becoming initiated by the spiritual master and learning how to discharge devotional service from him. Third, obeying the orders of the spiritual master with faith and devotion. Fourth, following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers under the direction of the spiritual master. Fifth,
Oh,
inquiring.
wait. So here, no, there's a verse for it. This very, very good verse that you can also, you know it. I just share that, you can decide after. I hope it's, yeah. Atha Angani. So Angas of, devotional service has begun now, been explained over here. So you decide with me at your end. Guru Padashrayas Tasmat Krishna Diksha Disikshanam Vishrambhena Guru Seva Sadhu Vartman Vartanam. So, Guru Padashraya Tasmat. So one has to take shelter of the feet of the Guru. And like Arjuna took shelter of Krishna. He might not have, received a formal initiation from Krishna, but he accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. So before initiation, we also see, that one has to accept the Guru. Acceptance of a Guru means what? And it's been said, or rather, we should say, it's also been said, the Guru should accept us. So first we accept the Guru, and then the Guru accepts us. Right? No? So what does it mean? Acceptance of a Guru? Acceptance of a Guru means acceptance of his instructions. You know, acceptance of his uh, his his will in our life. You know, acceptance of uh, acceptance of his view over our views in our life, or in a general's life. So this is the meaning of acceptance of a Guru. You know, that his view I prioritize over my view. You know, the way to see the world, I'm saying, and to perceive the world, and in our own life also. And then also I said to you about making and making his instructions as our life and soul. And also I said to you one more thing. You remember what I just said, the first one to you in taking Sri Guru Pada Ashrayas? Any one of you?
Following the instructions of Guru.
Following the instructions of the Guru. And what are the three? Kitar, I just forgot. I only spoke, but it missed out in my mind. Anybody remembers? Those
Accepting shelter of bona fide spiritual master,
uh-huh.
becoming initiated by the spiritual master, and learning how to discharge devotional service from
No,
him.
no. I'm just talking about acceptance of spiritual master. What does it mean of acceptance of spiritual masters? Now we have to first accept the spiritual master. Means his view, his instructions are guiding principles of our life. You know, how he gives us a view. We have one view towards certain situations in the world and are in our life. But now that view may be materialistic view. You know, we keep it aside and we accept the view. Like, no, just see the example of Arjuna. No? Arjuna had one view, right? No? Towards the entire warfare. Oh, why they're saying, why I should kill my relatives. Even there's six reasons he spoke about why. That was his view. But that is not, if I have to keep our view only, then why to accept a spiritual master? Acceptance of a spiritual master means I change my view. So change my view according to what the way he, and following his instruction and taking his instruction and serving him as his becomes his life and soul. That is the meaning of acceptance of spiritual mastery. Acceptance of a spiritual master doesn't mean that I have just taken and नाम के वास्ते चलो भैया किसी को तो लेना है, ले लेंगे तो जल्दी इनिशिएशन हो जाएगा. क्यों इनिशिएशन चाहिए? ओ दास का टाइटल मिल जाता है तो थोड़ा स्कॉन में फायदा होता है. सब बोलेंगे हाँ इनिशिएटेड भक्त है ना, इंटरनल भक्त है, कमिटेड भक्त है. तो थोड़ा आसान होता है. थोड़ा थोड़ा दास का मिल जाएगा, 2-3 राउंड हो जाता है, सब बोलते हैं इनिशिएटेड थोड़ा सीनियर है। तो अभी क्या है, अभी चल रहा है ऐसे। नो नो, नॉट लाइक, नॉट फॉर दोस रीजंस वन हैज टू एक्सेप्ट द स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर। One has to acceptance means this. And when we accept a spiritual master, and then one should not just sit, I have accepted a spiritual master, what it matters. And anyhow, a line is Siksha line. That's good, right. That's been said. It's a hard Siksha line. No doubt about it. But the second one comes is the taking initiation from him. Right now, receiving initiation and instructions about Krishna. It is amazing, it's been said. Here is very clear. Somebody can say, हाँ हाँ मैंने गुरु गुरु बना लिया है। अरे कौन है तुम्हारा गुरु? ओ वो है हमारे एक शंकराचार्य लाइन के। ना, शंकराचार्य लाइन नहीं। कृष्णा, सी द वर्स सेज व्हाट? कृष्णा दीक्षादि शिक्षणम, right ना? Krishna, means, that you have to take initiation from a person who is going to give you shiksha of Krishna, right now. How to execute devotional service, devotional in terms of, to Krishna, not to, some impersonalism. That's very clear. Not that we, some people say, गुरु बना लिया, गुरु किसको बनाया है? देखो भैया, वैष्णव गुरु है, कौन गुरु है? Right now. So then, one has to receive initiation from him and not just stop at, following shiksha. Shiksha is very important, because there's a lot of things been spoken, over here. So, but the diksha bola gaya to, yeah, somebody can say first edition, second edition. That is a different thing. But one has to look for, and I can tell very clearly why. Because it gives a formal kind of a, stamping over our relationship between the guru and the disciple. That's very simple, to understand. Like a boy can have a friend, have a relationship with a girl, means, in that one way he might have accepted the girl as his wife. But come on, you can't be, till the point, you don't marry. There's officialization has to happen. Right? एक बार ऑफिशियलाइजेशन हो गया तो क्या हो गया? ना प्रभु जी भाग सकता किसी और माता जी के साथ, ना माता जी भाग सकते किसी और प्रभु जी के साथ। राइट ना? सेम वे ओवर। ओह सॉरी। Same way over here, not that, disciple can run away from with any other person, and आज ये गुरु अच्छे थे, नहीं नहीं अभी वो अच्छे हैं, ना वो नहीं। So he has to receive. That's kind of formalization is important, officialization is important. And yeah, when it comes, we should be ready, I would say. Whenever it comes, we should accept it. We should be ready from our sides, and because we accept the spiritual master, and initiation is a process of we getting accepted by the spiritual master, right? We can't force anybody. Hey, jaldi क्यों नहीं लेते हो मेरे को accept कर दे? अरे come on, that is his will. So receiving, so Krishna diksha disikshana. Then what? Vishrambena guru seva. Serving, Vishrambena is a very important word. If you remember a very famous verse, from Bhagavatam, Vishrambena, and where it comes, who says, who knows this word comes in what section? Huh? A very important chapter verse, bro. Hari Bol. Are it comes na in
Guruji, can you repeat the question?
I'm saying the word Vishrambena comes where in Bhagavatam? In what context? Oh, you're
Devahuti, Mother Devahuti.
Devahuti. Yeah, very good. That's so I'll show that verse. So here's a verse which says, Vishrambhena atmasauchena gaudavena damena cha shushushaya suhridena vacha madhurya cha bho. Right now. So no, this is how Kardam Muni was served by Mother Devhuti. So the word see over here, Vishrambhena, means with intimacy. uh, so these are the ways that disciple has to now serve the Guru, which is our third principle, of execution of the devotional service by the sadhana bhakti. Read one of your the translation, O Vidura. Please read.
O Vidur, Devahuti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love, and with sweet words.
The same way one has to serve the Guru with intimacy, right? Na? So intimacy, has a quite connotation of quite a deep connotation, I would say, because somebody may serve, but not with the intimacy. Means, let's say, intimacy means he knows he knows the will of the of the Guru. He knows actually what will please him, what will not please him. Like I just give one time an example. I just saw it in front of me. I just give an example of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj because I saw him one time in that way. We had gone for one Rath Yatra which was done in Chowpatty, and they used to happen in Shivaji Park. Probably it was 2008, 2009 too. So we had gone over there. I was just nah, yeah. So we saw that Maharaj came while the Rath Yatra was being done. No, was going on, the procession was going on. So as soon as Maharaj came, so Maharaj came very silently into the crowd, and then there were there were some devotees who saw him. Earlier that time there was no much of a security with Maharaj. I know. So there were some devotees who was started pushing devotees to make the way for Prabhu Maharaj. And I was very shocked that he was that devotees were two, three devotees were making and they were pushing and they were very quite of a rash because they have to, because so but Maharaj immediately changed his route only. He immediately moved. He was coming in this direction, he moved in another direction because he didn't like that kind of a thing, you know, uh, with the with the other devotees. So, same way, intimacy means knowing that okay, when somebody will say, I'm trying for making the way for Maharaj itself. I'm serving Guru. No, no, no. Intimacy means serving the Guru in a way that he will be pleased. Sometimes a disciple may please, do some seva, but with lot of chaos creating. Like, if the suppose give I give an example to you. If the lady is not so happy, in the home, she's not, his mood is upset. So he can cook in the kitchen. She will cook in the kitchen. She can, but while she will be in the kitchen, there will be a lot of sound coming from the kitchen. Yeah, because she is patakari hai, patakara hai, patakara patakari जो भी बोलो आप. No, she is just making sounds with the vessels, thak thak thak. Because she's not happy. Or the cook is not happy. One birthday may say, no, action is done. She is, she's doing the action, she's making the cook, the preparation to be cooked. Finally, it's for the pleasure of all the people who are going to eat. But how is he now? How the person is doing it? That matters, right now. So same way, somebody may say, I am serving my guru. Oh, but okay, but which way? Is the way pleasing? Uh, is the way which is pleasing or not? So somebody may say, I'm preaching so much, and for whose sake I'm preaching? For Prabhupada's sake. Oh, but no. But while preaching, you are also creating a lot of chaos. Why? By fighting with other fellows. Uh, So then, is it that's not, that's not intimacy. Intimacy means knowing this also, not just serving the Guru, but how to, and what will please him, and what will not please him. That's the meaning of, third one, which has been said over here. Uh, Vishrambhena Guru Seva. Right now. serving Guru with enthusiasm, and he has to be served with enthusiasm, not that karna hai, kar dete hain, not like that. He has to serve with enthusiasm. Means see, intimacy also means there's like the proper gives a very famous example that a woman in a home, no, she will she even if there's a chill winter, still she goes and stands in the kitchen and has to and cook, and even it's a very hot summer, she still has to be on fire and cooks for the family. Uh, you know, so that's the meaning of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means what? He should not serve the guru with karna hai. No, he should serve the guru with intimacy, with enthusiasm. You know, that's what ye mera hai. This is what I wish to do, right? So that's the meaning of serving guru with enthusiasm, and not that uh, बोला गया है करना पड़ेगा. No, not like that. Do you have I hope we would now none of us would have seen any mother uh, any of our mothers cooking करना पड़ेगा इसलिए cook कर रहा हूँ. नहीं. she is The lady is very enthusiastic because she feels this is my family. The same way the disciple has to serve the guru, not just the guru personally, not his physically, him, not Bapu Seva only, to his body, his mission. Prabhupada said, it doesn't much matter to me how do you respect me personally, but it matters to me how much you value my mission. So, it doesn't mean that we must value the mission and not respect the person. But it means over here that, we we have to see what opportunity lies in my hand, what is being, not opportunities. Opportunity is not the right word. What is expected out of me? And it is a service to his mission, or it is a service to him, to his body. Now, whatever is being expected from me, and be enthusiastic for that and perform that with intimacy. That's the meaning of Vishnam Bhena Guru Seva. You may say that Rupa Goswami has not spoken the detail. He has just mentioned a principle. Why you are going into details? Uh, don't worry, I go much into details, but I'm just, these are very important. Well, first three, four only. Three I have covered, and first three only I have spoken something in detail to you. Uh, so, and the fourth one comes the sadhu vartamanu vartanam, following the saint's path. And saint's path means what? Sure, over here, the following the saint's path comes in the line of the guru itself. Following the path, following the way he actually performs the devotional life. Means uh, imbibing the value system which he keeps in our own life. That way we'll be able to, you know, uh, that way we will be able to, you know, that's meaning of sadhu vartamanu vartanam, right now. So following the path of the acharyas means following the rules of the, also means the following the rules of the Smriti and other scriptures which is enjoined by the acharyas. So that's also meaning, but under the guidance of the guru. Uh, that is also been said. So that's why I'm saying the way he follows the previous acharyas, the same way we also follow. And, that's a meaning. So then next comes the another set of uh, another set of instructions. So we'll just read it and let's see how it goes. Share this. Just read from the fourth we read. Following sadhu vartmanu vartanam, following the footsteps of great acharyas and teachers under direction of the spiritual master. That's why I said follow the great acharya, the previous acharyas, but within the instruction of the current spiritual master. It's the spiritual master. No. Now read from the fifth pro.
असीम प्रभा प्रभु.
जी, he mentions the basic principle as follows. Should I read this one or read one?
Fifth one. Inquiring.
Fifth one. Okay. Inquiring from the spiritual master how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Sixth, being prepared to give up anything material for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This means that when we are engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, we must be prepared to give up something which we may not like to give up. And also, we have to accept something which we not like to accept. Seventh, residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan. 8. Accepting only what is necessary or dealing with the material world only as far as necessary. 9. Observing the fasting day on Ekadasi. And 10. Worshipping sacred trees like a banyan tree. These 10 items are preliminary necessities for beginning the discharge of devotional service in regulative principles. In the beginning, if a neophyte devotee observes the above mentioned 10 principles, surely he will quickly make good advancement in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, so we're here. So it's very these these regulatory principles for a devotional service, is a preliminary necessity for beginning the discharge of devotional service. A neophyte devotee observes, if he observes these principles, surely he will make very quick advancement in Krishna consciousness. So these are the do's which he has to do, and there are don'ts also. So we'll just get into do's more first. So the next verse that has been explained by Prabhupada is over here. So Guru Padashraya Tasmat Krishna Diksha Desiksham Guru Bena Guru Seva Sadhu Vartmana Vartam. Then comes this one. Saddharma Priksha Bhogadityaga Krishna Hetave Nivaso Dwaraka Adocha Ganga Ade Apisannidho. So he says about this that one has followed Sadharma Piksha, means he has to now he has received initiation from this Guru and all those, then he can inquire from him. Inquiry, comes an inquiry about the eternal religious principles. Sadharma Piksha. Somebody was saying, just a joke, some sannyasi was saying that once you become a guru, you know, you become he said something. You become everything except, you become a career counselor, you become marriage counselor, you become conflict counselor, conflict resolution counselor. You become everything. Because people will just ask all these questions to you. But hardly people come for Sadharma Piksha, inquiring about eternal religious principles. And people will may come and talk about it. I'll just give an example to you. Some of them are important. I'm not saying that some issues comes in a disciple life he should not go. I'm not at all saying that. But over here, emphasis is on Sadharma Priksha. If the guru is not telling us about that, about eternal religious principles, is not satisfying our inquiries on that, then it's a different issue. Then one has to think about it. But if he's not, giving you how to resolve the conflict and all those things, doesn't mean that he is not qualified for it. That's not the duty of the duty of ours is to inquire, and he will answer. But one has to know the inquiry should be eternal religious principle, and that's what we should expect from him. So Sadharma Priksha has to happen. So about eternal religious principles is not just I'm stating. It's not. It's not. This dharma is not even said about varnashram dharma Priksha. Because the word is being used as eternal religious principle. Right now, eternal religious principle is Krishna consciousness only. It's not about Kula Dharma, Jata Dharma, Desh Dharma, Deha Dharma, and all those dharmas. Surely those dharmas are important. I'm not saying that. But here the emphasis is on sadharma priksha. And then, after they inquire about it, then, what we have to do. Surely, when they inquire, we'll get some instructions. In that instructions, there will be instructions where you have to give up something which you which we may not like to give up, and we have to accept something which we may not like to accept it. That's the meaning of going to a doctor. You go to a doctor and you have to accept a medicine. You know, some medicines which you may not like to take, it's karva. And you know, and some things which you like to eat has to be
Uh,
given up.
Hare Krishna, Prajit. Prajit, voice is little coming low. Uh,
Oh, now it's better.
yes. Now it's better.
I have to keep the over here. I was saying that what is the last thing you heard about a doctor you heard? Going to a
Yeah,
doctor.
Prajit. We heard all the things. Just that
Oh,
it was low.
okay,
Only
okay,
that. Yeah.
okay. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
it has to be when we go to a so भोग आदि त्याग किसके लिए ये भी याद रखना चाहिए. Very good. It is Prabhupada is going to explain that. Krishnasya hetave. Now one has to give up things. Bhoga, give up the bhog or may accept something which may be called as tapasya. Uh, Krishna hetave. And such good it is. You do sadharma priksha. So that dharma, so very clear now. Sadharma priksha should be related to Krishna consciousness. Right now. It should be in such a way that it is going to give for it is Krishna's sake, means for practicing devotional service. And then one has to once he receives the answer, he has to give up something and accept something which he may like or may not like for Krishna hetave. Not that for some other hetave. Other hetu se nahi. No. Some people accept things, in this world which may not be Krishna hetave. They accept it. Like you see, uh, just give an example. And, that when you go Govardhan Parikrama, you see many ladies also, doing Dandavat Parikrama or Prabhujis and Lady Matajis both. A majority are from, majority people are from, from Delhi and all those, Punjab and all those areas. And majority have doing that kind of parikrama for fulfillment of some material uh, benefits that they want to get it, something they want it. So that is not Krishna hetave, to be very clear. And, so they are doing quite, nobody will like to do that kind of tapasya. हमारा तो चल चल के ही हालत खराब हो जाता है. और दंडवत मार के बाबा 2-3 दिन लगता है उसको, शायद लगता होगा. मैंने कभी आई नेवर ट्राइड दैट. So and I don't know also, but so much of tapasya they take it, but it's not Krishna's sake. So then he says, and then Krishna hetave nivaso dwarka ado cha gangadhar apasannidho, and living in a sacred place like Dwarka and Ganga over there also for Krishna hetave. Not that somebody makes a home in Dwarka or Adi means any sacred place, holy places, just for making a business over there, or on a just for having a good time. Not like that. It should be Krishna hetave or living near the banks of Ganga. So amazing. Ganga Adir. Ganga is so much here. Then he says, where व्यवहारेषु सर्वेषु यावद् अर्थानुवर्तित हरिवासर सम्मनो धात धत्रे अस्वथादि गौरवम. So he's been said, seeking only what is necessary in all aspects of daily life. That's what Prabhupada says that, Prabhupada says that in a way that accepting only what is necessary or deal with the material world as far only it is necessary. And उतना ही. This is an instruction, very important instructions for all these 10 are. One of them is this. उतना ही, जितना आपको need है, तो उतना ही deal करो material world से, उतना ही उठाओ material world से. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. So seeking only what is necessary and respecting the holy days like Ekadashi. Hari Vasara Sammano, right? Na? So observing the days like Ekadashi or the days of appearance and disappearance of acharyas. We should not think appearance and disappearance ठीक है acharyas are very merciful. चलता है fasting करो या ना करो okay but कुछ सुनो या सुनो. No, not like that. One has to observe those days very seriously. Somehow, just a side point. We get very amazed. When we see there's a Janmashtami, there's a lot of enthusiasm in devotee. Maybe in a neophyte devotee, lot of enthusiasm. But when it's Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance, like the way it was yesterday. He has no, ठीक है, ठीक है. No, not like that. No, not like that. Those are also, very good days to, to remember the acharyas and uh, you know, to enhance, advance in devotional life. So, because we have to remember the first is that acceptance of a spiritual master. Then we accept the parampara, accept, so it has to be done in that way. Uh, so observance of the Ekadashi has to be very properly. Just a side point. I'm just remembering something because it's coming on a practical ground. Uh, Once when in our temple, when or in our voice, when sabudana was said that will not cook, there was some problem with sabudana. Oh, many devotees said, "Hi, re hi." एकादश में साबूदाना भी चला गया क्या खाएंगे हम so no so so not with that way one has to follow ekadashi and those fasting days one should mainly people generally devotees remember the fast than the day there which day it is it's Gaur Purnima or any fasting baba fasting hai kya so not like that observing the fasting in a proper way it's celebrating that day once the Gaurang Prabhu was saying sorry I'm just remembering something and I'm speaking to you. Once Gaurang Prabhu was saying something, he was giving a class to, I don't know, some of you might be there in PMOC meet that happened in GEV once. What some of you were there over there? And maybe, 2, 3 years back or 3, 4 years back in GEV it was PMOC
Yes,
meet.
Guruji.
Yeah. So in that Gaurang Prabhu gave a class. I just remember that much part of the class only. He was saying that once there was a festival in Chowpatty temple, and it was a fasting till noon or something was that. So all of us, after fasting at a quite long class, Maharaj gave class till 1 o'clock. From morning, Bhagavatam began. It went till 1 o'clock. Some of the recordings you may be here. Oh, now it's 12:20. So we should stop here. Maharaj said 12:20 सुबह का class शुरू हुआ है 8 बजे 9 बजे वाला. So that day it happened like that. That he was, the class went up very long, and devotees were very tired, and they had probably, honored prasadam. And in the ashram, he was saying, in the ashram, everybody was lying on the floor after prasad. So Maharaj came silently, and he saw one by one all are, dharashayi ho gaye sabke sab, you know. So Maharaj and Gaurang was saying, I was also one of them. I was also lying. So Maharaj ने बुलाया बाद में. Today there was some festival. We don't remember which festival it was. Lot of us quoted some festival. Today is God Purnima. Manu suppose God Purnima. I mean, it was not God Purnima. It was Nitya Antardasi, something like that. Yeah, fasting till noon tha aisa. So today Nitya Antardasi, but Nitya Antardasi doesn't ends in 12 noon, right? Na? Na? It's a whole day. Whole day one has to be busy. Now serving Nityanand Prabhu. Tell all of them, get up, and we'll also celebrate the evening festival. Then so altar has to be decorated. He Maharaj made all of them. Dubara there was no need of altar decoration. It's just but he said सबको जगाओ. ऑल्टर डेकोरेशन होगा, सब होगा, फेस्टिवल होगा, शाम में भी होगा, सुबह भी हुआ वही फेस्टिवल, शाम में भी होगा। क्यों? हाँ, it's a because festival are very important. It's not just, it does not ends with just now breaking of the fast. It's a whole day event. So he was saying like that. I just remembered. So one has to observe it in a very proper way, and that's what I would say. And then worshipping sacred trees like banyan tree. Uh, it is said that these trees come from the our planets. They're very sacred. There's some trees like banyan tree, yeah, mango tree also. Mango tree also, yeah. There's some other trees like five trees are there which are very important considered to be, and worship them because they are connected to Krishna. Not much detail I have read about how they are connected to Krishna, but that's what it is said. So these are yeah. So now read the next 10 instructions, and then we won't be able to cover this chapter for sure. Just read the next 10 instruction, which is the don'ts. Till now you have read the do's. Now you read the don'ts. The next set of instructions.
Vibhu Prabhu.
Yes, ma'am. One should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. Second, one should not instruct a person who is not desirous of accepting devotional service. Third, one should not be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples or monasteries. Fourth, one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. Sixth, one should not under the spell of lamentation in loss or jubilation in gain. And one should not disrespect the demigods. One should not give unnecessary troubles to any living entity. Ninth, one should carefully avoid the various offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord or in worshipping the deity in the temple. 10th, one should be very intolerant towards the blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his devotees.
Yes. So that's what now these are the don'ts, means one has to, that one should not associate much with non-devotees. What is required that much? One should not instruct a person who's very envious towards devotional service. So one should not construct monasteries. One should not make recitation of Bhagavatam as a his profession for earning. Not like that. It's proper, very clear, no? I'll show you. Uh, that much of detail is not mentioned by Rupa Goswami, but over here you see. Now these 10 parts are preliminary, the first 10 which we read. Now he says about the 11th to 20th. Sangatyago vidurena bhagavat vimukera jana. शिष्यादि अनानुवन्धित्वं maharambhadi anudyamah. He says what? Sangatyago, abandoning at a great distance the company of a person who are adverse to God. You know, Sanga त्यागो विदुरेण भगवत विमुखेर जनै, जो भगवत भगवान से विमुख है, envious basically. We should not take, which can give association in terms of preaching, but be careful in that also. If he's showing envy, you just give prasad and move ahead. Then he says, Sisyadi ananu vanditvam. No, not seeking to have too many students. Why? No, because if somebody, guru, somebody, like suppose some mentor one, suppose we why to say guru. There's a mentor only, he thinks that, oh, I should have many mentees. Then how will he will keep such mentees also who who don't hear him, but बोलने के लिए मैं कितने लोग का mentor हूँ, 20 लोगों का mentor हूँ. अरे है किस काम के लोग, वो छोड़ दो, बट मेरा सबसे ज्यादा संख्या है. So no, yeah, not like that. No, one should not be, Prabhupada says that, what Prabhupada says over here. So Prabhupada says over here, that one should not be very enthusiastic, and yeah, one should not be very enthusiastic for constructing temples or monasteries, and yeah, he says over here like that. So over here, Prabhupada mentions like that Prabhupada translates it in that way, this particular thing, not to seek have many students and not be very enthusiastic. Huh. So, and one should not being overly enthusiastic about undertakings. So, undertaking, Prabhupada says over there, constructing temples and monasteries. But over here is Maharambhadi Anudyamaha. One should not be very enthusiastic about these things. Then, yeah, undertakings. It's a material undertaking, also called spiritual undertaking. One should not be. If it's a need, it has to be. Uh, right, like and Kunj Bihari was really getting a shot. So then it was a need. So then he moved towards a bigger temple. In that way. But anyhow, it matters about what is the will of the spiritual master. It doesn't much matter that whether what we feel. One should not be. If it is the will, like Prabhupada wanted big temples, okay, not issue. We have to. So anyhow, so now he says about Vahu Grantha Kala Bhasya Vakyavada Vivarjanam, giving up excessive appreciation for mundane art, poetry, and philosophy. Or Vahu Grantha. Vahu Grantha has been said. So one should not be too much of a reading also. And why reading should be done, but too much has been said so that I'll do in that when I'll speak, people should be flap busted. Not like that. No, not for those reasons. Or anybody who comes to debate me, I'll thoroughly, defeat him. Not for those reasons. One should not be, or surely not should be reading mundane art, poetry, and philosophy. Then vyavahare api akarpanyam sokadi avasavartitah. Not being unkind. One should not be rude. Even when we are not so satisfied, with somebody, or not being overwhelmed in the times of lamentation. So, so here these are being spoken over here. So this is the and not अन्य देवान अवज्ञा नहीं करना चाहिए च भूत अनुद्वेग दयित not bringing anxiety to any other being unnecessary one should not be and seva nama you know nama uh, nama apardanam udbhava vakarita vakarita. So, no, carefully avoiding offenses in chanting, Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad. One should carefully avoid these things. And then it's been said, Krishna Tad Bhakta Vide Vidvesha Vindadi Asahishnuta Vyakti Ekatyasmin Dasanam Sad Syad Anustitah. So, not tolerating malice or or insult to Krishna or his devotees also. Not just Krishna. Even towards the devotee, if somebody is actually saying something here or there, we should not be. We should not be interested. We should be not interested only. We should have a disinterest in that and not tolerate it in the sense and not to fight also. I'm saying it may be, you move away from that point. And if it is required to refute him, refute him. So these are, 10 instructions which has to be, which has to be followed in a matter of don'ts. So, so um, over here now, I want to stop over here and show you for next 5 minutes something from uh, uh, Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani regarding this what we are reading. Mm, just show you. Sorry. Mm, Where it is? Mm, mm, yeah. Okay, just read, because just read away. Devotional service in practice has two divisions.
Devotional service in practice has two divisions, regulative Vaidhi and spontaneous Raganuga. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Lila 22.108. The basic difference between the two has to do with what impels their practitioners to perform devotional service. The impetus for regulative service is faith in and sometimes fear of the consequences of obeying scripture, and for spontaneous devotion, a natural and intense longing for Krishna's service or lobha.
No, over
Which
here,
part do
over it is disobeying. You said obeying. Disobey.
oh,
Consequence.
consequences of disobeying scripture? Which path devotees adopt depends on their qualification. As Srila Prabhupada writes, spontaneous service is not artificial. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Lila 22.109 purport. Only with the guidance of the spiritual master and senior Vaishnavas can practicing devotees know the level of their own qualification. It is generally understood, however, that because very few devotees are initially fit for spontaneous devotion, most practicing devotees begin by following the path of regulative devotion. Why are so few devotees initially qualified for spontaneous devotion? Neophyte and even intermediate devotees rarely have genuine greed. For this reason, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers advise devotees without true greed to practice regulative devotion. The external activities of both regulative and spontaneous devotional service are the same, and thus the study of sadhana bhakti will stay within the context of regulative devotional service. Books such as Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, and Jaiva Dharma are this authorized process. Use this authorized process in order to discuss the details of bhakti.
Yeah, so you are able to understand why I'm showing, because somehow this kind of a connotation comes that ये सब जो हो रहा है regulative, because ahead जो भी आएगा वो तो और भी detailed है, और भी quite minute devotional activities which is mentioned now from 21 to uh, 64, the remaining 44 I'm saying. They will be very detailed. And one may say ये सब क्या जरूरी है, हमें तो भगवान का प्रेम प्राप्त करना है प्रेम प्राप्त करना है, but the way is this प्रभु for majority of the people, which has been explained till now over here in this book, that why one should be following the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti rigidly. Because majority, because that much greed to attain Krishna. If somebody has, it's very good. If one does not has, he has to perform this in a very regulated way, in a regulated devotional service. Because that will create a genuine greed within him, and that will make him qualified for spontaneous devotional service. So that is why we have been mentioned, that there may be some sampradayas who may be talking about starting straight, from raganuga kind of a thing, but majority become shallow. Uh, so over here been said, it's very 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 proper that we understand this importance in our need in our life, because we have to see, and also been said, over here has been said na, क्या बोला गया, that one should have only with the guidance of the spiritual master and senior Vaishnavas, practicing devotee can know the level of their own qualification. You know, not that by stamping one's own qualification by one own. No one has to get stamped from some senior Vaishnavas and spiritual master. Yeah. So if somebody has a genuine greed, he will be told, go ahead. If someone doesn't has that much, then one has to perform this regulated sadhana with this bhakti. So he quotes over here. Now just this paragraph you read and we end. It is a common.
It is a common misunderstanding among devotees that spontaneous devotional service appears only at the stage of ecstatic devotion and is thus a practice only for liberated souls. But Rupa Goswami's twofold division of devotional service in practice reveals that this assumption is incorrect. There are good reasons, however, why neophytes have been discouraged from practicing spontaneous devotion, reasons this book will discuss later. For now, the reader should remember that in Lord Chaitanya's teaching, spontaneous devotion is one of the two aspects of sadhana bhakti and the sole aspect of bhava and prema bhakti.
So amazing thing is this. we we are not, we are not, we should not have a, some people become, some devotees become, too much ritualistic while performing these 64 items of devotional service. We has been said one should not become ritualistic, but one should have to understand that it has to be done with a certain mood, and that mood is been said if somebody and not mental mood, not mentally. One should not become mental, right? No? Or we say, na, sentiment is good. Being sentimental is not good. So sentiments are based on, based on some facts. Sentimental is a functionality of a mind. So so over here saying these are, uh, in our process of practicing devotional service within Lord Chaitanya's teaching, or within Prabhupada's teaching to us in ISKCON, one should, if he performs very properly, even at a practicing stage, one can do some spontaneous devotional service. How? It's quite of a thing. I hope I'm not confusing you, but that's very true, and that depends on the mood, and that mood one has to acquire. And maybe still, maybe at a level of maybe at a level of practicing regulated devotional service. Because that's what makes the person move towards a spontaneity. Then, uh, but uh, uh, but this has to be done very properly, and he will explain. If you are getting some question on this tomorrow, when we'll be further completing this chapter, not tomorrow, in the next week, and we'll read this further chapter. Surely, I'm going to make you read. You will come to know much about that. So I end for today. You have any questions you can ask, or it's already 8:15, 8:14. Yes, Prabhu. Open to you. Okay, seems to be no questions. Yeah, Devi Prasad. Prabhu. Just one question, and next week I'll begin with the questions only. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Ji, my question on this last point, like you said, devotees have sometimes become ritualistic.
Uh,
So I just want to understand this through one just a single example. Like suppose, let's say in the morning Mangalarti, at 4:30 we do Dandavats when the altar opens.
yeah, right.
So that can be also become a ritualistic practice if while making that Dandavat, we're not understanding our mood why we're making Dandavat. Is
Right,
that
right.
your point?
Right, Prabhu. Because I'll show you a quote by Rupa Goswami itself, that all these 64 items of devotional service have to be practiced with body, with mind, and with speech. All three. That's why I'm saying here is an inclusion of, जो mind लगाएगा, he will enter into spontaneity slowly and slowly. That's a meaning. Okay, so I end over here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll meet next week.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Puja.
Hare Bol.
Say good.
Thank you.